All right, you guys. Today I want to take you down memory lane. I want to bring you back to 2003, specifically May 12th, 2003. Pokemon was probably long out of your head. The cards weren't cool, and they were collecting dust in most people's closet. The hype, the Pokemon craze started to slow down, never truly died, but it wasn't what it was in 1999, 2000, 2001. In that time, Pokemon cards are still being made. Plenty of sets came out, and WotC was pumping them along. But on May 12th, 2003, WotC, Wizards of the Coast, released what would end up being their last set of Pokemon before they broke their relationship with the Pokemon Company. The set was called Skyridge. And without a doubt, in my mind, Skyridge is the coolest set of Pokemon cards. To me, it represents the Holy Grail. WotC had been at the top of their game. They had mastered the art of printing Pokemon cards, and the artists and everybody involved had gone through enough sets where everything was just pretty much perfected. And out of that, you get some of, consequently, the rarest cards in Pokemon because of the limited print run. Nobody really knows what the print run is, but to put it in perspective, if you go on eBay, TCG Player, anywhere, go on Google, find me a booster box of Skyridge sealed. You can only find one. As of right now, there's one box of Skyridge available from some gentleman in Italy. He's selling it for $63,000. 36 pack box, and instead of 10 cards, he only has 9 cards. And again, one pack is going to be about $1,000 to $1,200, depending on condition and where exactly you get it from. But if we look at base set unlimited, they're about $300 to $500 a pack, depending on if it's heavy or not. So you have the first set of Pokemon, and debatably in most people's mind the most nostalgic, going for less than a set that came out that most people don't even really know about. I mean, it came out right at that time when Pokemon, like I said, lost its. Pokemon has never been unpopular, and it probably never will be. But there was definitely a little lull between the next time it got kickstarted. It was at the end of what I would consider its first run, its first huge popularity spike, and there just wasn't as many people playing it. Some of the kids who first got into it had started to grow out of it, and other people got bored. There was other card games coming out. Yu-Gi-Oh was starting to gain a lot of traction. Magic was still kicking strong, so there was other things to do, and people just got away from Pokemon. And in that time, though, Skyridge has just kind of shown that based on the prices, I don't see another set of Pokemon that's actually more valuable than Skyridge. Obviously, first edition base set, first edition, any of actually, for the most part, any of the first edition WotC sets. But that's different because those are extremely small print runs. And I mean, really, only first edition base set really commands a ridiculous sum. You can buy a box right now for $400,000 online. So, to me, though, if you look at the artwork of the cards, Skyridge had these sweet cards called crystallized cards, and the Charizard, which is kind of also, once again, the Holy Grail Skyridge, a graded Charizard from a graded crystallized Charizard can go from anywhere to $2,000 to like $8,000 graded, depending on the time of year and so on and so forth. Before I did this video, I looked online at the most recently sold Charizards. I was seeing them for anywhere between $4,000 and about $6,000 or $7,000. So that's pretty crazy. Compare that to, I would compare it more to base set unlimited. And a Charizard base set unlimited costs like $400? So obviously a graded one is going to cost a little bit more, but the point is there's actually more base set unlimited than there is a Skyridge. I don't think there's anything that rivals the print run of Skyridge. And that might even transcend outside of the realm of Pokemon. I mean, I'm going to even say there's probably not a whole lot of Magic sets besides Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited that have a print run more comparable to Skyridge. I would say maybe Skyridge would almost align with the revised print run. And people like to say that there's a lot, there's a lot more revised than unlimited. That's true. But at the end of the day, the revised print run is still probably around 100,000 boxes or 250 some thousand boxes. I've never seen an exact number. I've seen people speculate about it, but I would say that Skyridge is probably closer to around that range. I don't see there actually being more than 250,000 boxes of Skyridge probably ever printed. And that's probably an overstatement. I mean, there has only been, I think, less than 400 Charizards sent to PSA for grading. And less than a third of them actually came back as PSA 10s. So you have only 400 graded examples from PSA. I don't know if BGS and whatever CGC actually got some, but I'm just going off PSA's numbers. They only got 400. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of Charizards from Unlimited. Like it seems, destroyed, heavy played, moderate played, but these guys, there's not a lot of them. And what's also cool, you had Lugia, you had Ho-Oh, and I think you had the fossils. It's the only set that actually has a fossil as a Pokemon. It's like, and it's technically a non-Pokemon card, but it is a fossil itself. I think it was used to actually bring in the fossilized Pokemon into battle. But it's the only set that has a non-Pokemon, non-trainer card, which is kind of cool. And then another kind of interesting thing is the last time Kadabra was printed in English was in this set. And I don't believe that's ever changed in any of the recent sets. If it has, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's got some history to it. And I think that just kind of taking a look at some of the cards that I've had up behind me, I just think that the artwork in this set, like I said, they figured it out. Everybody was firing off on all cylinders. WOTC knew what they were doing. The printers knew what they were doing. The artists knew what they were doing. And even the gameplay mechanics, it has a positive review. Like, people really like those cards. And some of those cards are actually really good. I don't personally play Pokemon. I don't think a lot of people do. But for the people that do, I mean, there's not a whole lot of experience with those cards because very few people really have them. And even a lot of the bulk stuff is going for like $2 to $10. I mean, there's base set unlimited cards that are $1, couple dollars at most. I mean, some of them are even, I think, less than $1. And it's just weird to me that the first set cost significantly less and was printed significantly more than this set. And yeah, it's really expensive. $1,000 a pack is definitely not cheap and probably out of most people's price range. It would take a lot of these to open up a Skyridge pack, but the risk reward, if you hit a Charizard, and there's a couple other ones that are $400, $500, $600, $700, but I think the Gengar is about $400 card. I might be wrong on that, but the Charizard, if you can pull that off, that would be a better payday than almost anything besides first edition. So I don't know. Every day I get a little bit closer to the idea of buying one. I just have to talk Mr. Kluk into doing it. But I mean, if I were to buy one, I would open it. I don't think I could. But at the same time, having a piece of such a limited history, if you're a collector, from a collector perspective, there's not a lot of them. Even the packs. I mean, even if you go online, there's not, a TCG player doesn't have 500 packs probably, if that, or even less than Skyridge. So I don't know. If you're looking for something that's crazy low, it's got an interesting history to it. I think being in the last set printed by a company, especially the company that kind of made trading cards famous, I don't know. I think there's something to that. And even if you're not into all of that, you just kind of like artwork and things like that, the Pokemon Skyridge set, I think, is hands down the coolest artwork. It does have a little bit of a fat border, but hey, the artwork, that's all that matters. So I don't know. I just kind of want to talk about Skyridge. Maybe I use this as a way a little bit of therapy to help get me to justify a purchase of a pack. But I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think it would be crazy if we open a pack of Skyridge on the channel? Get enough people to say so. Might just have to consider it. But that's all. See you guys next time. Not an investor, just a guy literally in a basement.